Purchasing a Universal Orlando annual pass could be a hard pill to swallow, especially when you see the price tag. Whether you are buying outright or using the payment option, there are some good benefits that come with your annual pass. After my family decided to jump into ownership of annual passes, I wanted to share exactly how much money we saved in a full year using our passes compared to purchasing regular tickets for the same amount of trips. Once we decided to go for the annual passes, we took several days deciding on which pass was best for us. After a lot of debate, we decided on the Premier Annual Pass, since they do offer free express passes after 4 p.m., early park admission, as well as park-to-park tickets. These passes also get you free preferred parking at the parks, along with other various discounts on merchandise and food. Premier passes at the time of purchase were about $1,100 each, which cost a total of around $3,300 to purchase 3 passes. Since making our first trip last November, we have been able to fortunately travel to Orlando for 6 long weekends. These were a variety of weekends ranging from birthdays to just wanting to get away. But the only holiday weekend we traveled on was Veterans Day weekend. Each of the 6 weekends we made it to Orlando, we made it into the parks twice. Looking at just parking, standard parking runs about $28 per day. So with 2 park days per trip, this would have added up to just $336 in parking fees. If you decided for preferred parking, you'd be looking at $720 for the same days. Since we got preferred parking for free, of course that is what we took advantage of when we arrived. With Premier Passes, we were able to park hop, which the 2-day multi-park tickets to buy outright run about $350 per person. This would have added up to $2,100 per person for the last 12 months. This brings our total now up to $6,736 between parking and tickets for the park. This leaves food and other merchandise in the park. Each weekend, we spend about $150 or so in the park between food, alcohol, and other general merchandise. This means another $900 we spent inside of the parks, bringing our grand total up to $7,636. Just a reminder, this is the amount we would have spent if we were visiting the same weekends for the same amount of time, while purchasing separate tickets for each weekend. During our trip to Universal this month, we took advantage of using our 1 free ticket to Halloween Horror Nights, which is normally an additional cost. These tickets start at around $80 per person, which would have been $240 more, finishing out our full year of Universal costs at $7,876 for 3 people. This total does not include rental cars, flights, hotel accommodation, or other meals outside of the Universal property. That cost was only Universal specific costs, since that is what we are directly comparing. Now, let's add up what it costs for the same trips using our Premier Annual Passes. The passes themselves were $3,300, which is less than half of the cost of purchasing the tickets individually. Parking with the Premier Passes is completely free, so that's another $336 saved. Our Premier Passes gave us a 15% discount on all food and most merchandise inside of the parks and in City Walk, which saved us around $135. Premier Passes, like I mentioned before, get 1 free ticket to Halloween Horror Nights each on select nights, which was another savings of $240. Adding up all of these costs, this brings our total spend up to $4,065 using the annual passes, which is almost a 50% savings. This is a savings that a family from the middle of West Virginia almost 900 miles away from Orlando saved while visiting the parks. That just goes to show you that annual passes are not just for locals or travelers within an easy drive of the parks. If you or your family love Universal like we do and are able to make these trips, making the decision to purchase annual passes, especially the Premier Pass, is a no-brainer and will save you thousands of dollars.